necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello there. Welcome to Revive FM. It is Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock, and I've got to big this up because, ladies and gentlemen, he's back in the studio. Here we go. There we go. It's because I was going to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of music I found. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Revive FM. He is Mr. Henry Scott. And for some reason, I know, to cap it all off. I can turn you up.
Yeah, turn me up.
You're right. Oh, that's right.
Hello.
That's
there
the
we
one.
go.
It's the other microphone. And also the other camera's not working. There we go. That's
an
it.
anticlimactic return.
I know, it didn't really work, did it?
That was really. Like, I appreciate the effort.
I'm so sorry.
I appreciate the effort.
I'm literally so
That's
sorry.
really nice
that
of you.
was just
Do you
terrible.
know I got given a birthday present today?
Did you really?
Yeah, funny films, which are sort of like universally funny. They're not like, because I was thinking, let's not have a serious film, right?
Yeah.
And
So no Die Hard or anything like that. You're not doing it like
Die Hard's a Christmas film, though.
Oh, I don't know. That's going to open.
No.
That's going to open up a debate.
I'm sorry. No. Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas film, and I'll explain why. I know I'm detouring from the fact that at school council we're raising to build morale, but it's about the movie night. And I suggest
that is
it has to be a 15 because there's some 17-year-olds, which means it can't be an 18, which is a real shame because once you go into the 18, you get into something which people can start to really enjoy.
Oh yeah.
So
wait a minute.
We're looking at 15. So that's thing, a Naked Gun Airplane, universally funny. But here's why Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas film. It is. Christmas is about connecting with your family and your loved ones. And what is Die Hard about? It's about a father reconnecting with his son, and it's snowy. And what's not Christmas?
And in fact, he goes out to LA to celebrate Christmas as the building burns, and
it's the ultimate Christmas film. It's about a father reconnecting with his son. If that is not the spirit of Christmas, reconnecting with your family, I don't know what is.
I mean, I'll be honest.
That's what happens at Christmas. You can't deny that.
It's true. It's true. I'll tell you what. Do you know what? I'll let you into a secret, right? So I'm a little bit of a movie buff and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I only watched Die Hard for the first time ever last year.
I've still not watched Die Hard.
Have you not?
No.
Right.
I advocate it as a Christmas film.
Right.
But
I'm telling you now then, when this is over and we're allowed to mix, right? You come around my gaff and watching Die Hard.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now.
I like that. Get a couple of beers out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? A couple of brewskis, you know?
Do you know what, right? So the England v Wales was on this week.
Yes.
And I had to watch it in Welsh.
You had to what?
I had to watch it in Welsh because Virgin Media cancelled our sports channel. So, or maybe my dad did or my mum. Somebody cancelled our sports channel, and the only channel it was being shown on was S4C, which is the Welsh channel, which is Cymru.
Yeah.
So I watched the thing in Welsh, and do you know what? The commentating actually really does make it a really good sport. Especially when you're watching it only with like one other person.
Yeah.
Like if I was watching it with my mate the other week, I watched the Six Nations. The last bit of Six Nations in the pub. It was brilliant because with people we were going,
it was back when we could do that.
Back when we could do that. And in fact, it was funny enough that day Boris Johnson announced the second lockdown.
That's why. It was to stop people celebrating the Six Nations. That's why.
Yeah. And it was, and everyone was in the pub going, "Boo! You suck! Boo!" It's quite funny. And then of course there was but nonetheless. How did we get onto rugby?
I don't know. We were talking about the Welsh channel. We got from Die Hard
a minute ago.
Die Hard to rugby.
Wow, I've really lost track here, haven't I?
Brilliant.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think it's great.
Ronnie Corbett would be proud of you.
I mean, Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas
film. It is.
Just putting that out there. If anyone disagrees with me, feel free to comment.
Exactly.
I'd love to hear your argument as to why it's not.
Well, there's people on Facebook and YouTube that would love to hear us right back now, but unfortunately,
that is true. They probably would love to hear with us.
We're getting there, don't worry.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a bit of news.
Oh yes, you do.
So
it's
actually related to Donald Trump.
Oh
no.
Do you know last week I nearly made this a Donald Trump free zone for a whole week? Nearly.
That's fair enough. There's news channels which have started introducing Brexit free hours.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
I mean, it's not very relevant anymore because coronavirus dominates.
I know, yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I've got really distracted with the whole film thing. Can I finish my anecdote about
You can do, yes, by all means. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
I'm really distracted today.
Sorry.
There's loads of different things I want to talk about.
Go for it.
Keep it more
Go for it, yeah.
Anyway, so school council's planning the movie night, blah, blah, blah. And we're choosing some films. We're like, we're probably going to do this, this, and this, and this. And we've spoken to our head of house. We're like, right, so we've got a few things we need to talk about, ID passes, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we go up to him and he's like, "Oh, you're doing a movie night?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "You're not doing Home Alone." It's like, no, we're not children. Because last year we did Home Alone and no one came.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, because everyone's seen it.
It's because Donald Trump was in it. I know
that's the second one. We watched the first one. Nonetheless, it was still boring. Because it's it's sort of film you'd love to watch when you have kids, not
not a film when you are one.
No. Well, no, when you're 18 and don't have kids.
That's true.
Right. So he was like, "Oh, you should watch The Mission." We were like, "Oh, what's The Mission?" He's like, "Oh, it's the best film. It's got an Oscar. It's got Robert De Niro, and it's amazing. It's the most amazing film. Wow. We're just an incredible film. Wow." He's really talking it up. And the head of the university program that's next door to the college comes into the office. And he's like, "Have you watched The Mission?" He's like, "Yeah, I have." And he's like, "Is it good?" Yeah, it's amazing. You should watch it." So my goal this weekend was to watch The Mission, and I haven't.
Oh, really?
And I was thinking, I think we could do some comedy because everyone's a little bit depressed. Why depress them with sort of a serious film? It'd be good to get a laugh. He's like, "No, I think it's really important to be reflective." And I'm thinking,
you might as well just put on It's a Wonderful Life.
The Mission, that'll make you reflect, won't it?
Yeah.
The Mission is, I'm like, because the mission will make me feel like how much good I have. And he was like, yeah. And I kind of don't want to tell him that nobody will want to watch the because the thing is, I'd actually be quite interested in it as a film for a movie night. But I'm thinking, what is universally more acceptable, the Mission or the Naked Gun? And the Naked Gun is far more universally funny. I think people would want to come.
I mean, it has the great line of "I'm always serious, don't call me Shirley."
Is even more appropriate.
Yeah.
Because that really is funny. I know people will.
Well, and plus the fact, you can reminisce of a time when we can actually get on an airplane and not have to be stuck at home for 2 weeks as well. That was remember back when we telling our kids that, right? Remember back in the day when we could sit and fly on airplanes?
You were lucky. We had to fly in a house.
I know. You were lucky. We had to stay in. We did. We had to stay in a house.
You were lucky. You had a house.
Oh man! Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I know when I think we've got about a minute or so before we go to a break. Do you want to quickly do your Donald Trump thing, or should we save it for after the break?
I mean, he's basically accepted that. Yes, I'll be leaving the White House. This is very simple.
So he's finally admitted defeat.
No, because he's not. He's still saying no. They were dumps. It's illegal, and it's 39-1 in every single lawsuit. By the way, can I just say?
Really?
Yeah, he's lost 39 lawsuits and only won one. And even then, in the recount they did in Wisconsin, Biden actually got more votes.
Really?
Yes. So basically what he said is when the Electoral College, the system that confirms the next president of the United States, wins, will you leave office? And he goes, don't talk to me that way. And then eventually, a couple of minutes later, he goes, yes, of course I will. What kind of questions? Of course I'll leave office.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to.
So, in an indirect way, he has admitted defeat, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, no. But the thing is, the only reason he's saying that there isn't defeat is because they ran up such a debt from all the campaigning that they needed a way to sort of dial it down.
Oh,
so
right.
this whole thing, the majority of the money that was supposed to go to lawsuits, 75% of that didn't go to lawsuits.
You know why? Because wasn't there that thing that he
pay off Donald Trump's campaign debt?
Yeah. Well, wasn't he putting about $2.4 million into his own personal accounts?
Yes.
So
completely. No, like anyone in the US who has donated money to Donald Trump's campaign to fund the legal battles has actually funded Donald Trump's debt spending. And do you know what? On January 21st, the state of New York is going to prosecute Donald Trump for various federal crimes and state crimes as well, in regards to money laundering, tax avoidance, tax evasion. The man, I'm thinking the man was hoping to die in office. And even if Donald Trump resigns on January 19th and Mike Pence becomes president and then gives him a presidential pardon, because you can't pardon yourself, that only applies at federal crimes. And New York state crimes are still possible to challenge.
Wow.
So if you kill someone, you can be charged for murder as a state crime.
Yeah, as opposed to a federal crime.
Yeah. So Donald Trump's not getting out of it anyway. He's in big trouble after the election.
I'll tell you what. There's only one word that can say that, and I know we have to be impartial, but I'm going to say it anyway. Excellent.
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's going to happen.
No, I would say Donald Trump is universally disliked in the UK for various reasons. The only credit I have to give to him is he did do a lot of the things he said he would do.
Yeah, I suppose
just
so.
Simplify taxes to a degree.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Wall,
We'll build the wall. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to build a wall with the funds from these adverts. See you after the break.
Oh my goodness.
If you're looking for a unique bespoke cake made especially for your big day, then look no further. Here at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, we designed some of the most imaginative and delicious home-baked cakes for your special occasions. We do fresh cream, buttercream, eggless, and vegan cakes. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, or just call 07932 665 833. That's 07932 665 833.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपकी एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए।
अभी कॉल मिला 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you. Hands.
Face.
Space. As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
Turkish Kitchen, the best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
This is an important update about coronavirus. To help save lives, new national restrictions are now in place until the 2nd of December. You must stay at home. Only leave home for food, medical reasons, exercise, education, or work. You must work from home if you can and avoid travel unless essential. Go to gov.uk/coronavirus for latest guidance and exemptions. Stay alert, control the virus, save lives. As winter approaches, here's a critical reminder of coronavirus symptoms from Dr. Gupta.
The main symptoms of coronavirus are a high temperature or a new continuous cough or a sudden loss or change in your sense of smell or taste. If you have any of these, to protect yourself and others, it is critical you isolate at home, even if you don't feel too bad. And you must book a test immediately. Use the NHS COVID-19 app or go to gov.uk/coronavirus.
Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio,
on your mobile,
and online. Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM. It is Tuesday. It is your drive time show. My name is Thom Hutchinson. This is my amazing co-host,
Henry Scott.
And
no delay.
No delay at all. And you know why? Because we've nearly finished lockdown.
Oh, no, it's done.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, no, I like that. Keep it. Let's listen to this. This is great.
Looks like we made it.
What song is this?
Barry Manilow, Looks Like We Made It.
I love Barry Manilow. You only hear him once over something, but when he ever sings, you're like, oh,
good old Bazza. you know what it was? I just heard that and I thought, got to try and shoehorn that in somewhere.
Do you know what? I was just thinking about this. George Michael.
Oh yeah.
George Michael, like the other guy who sounds like this, Barry Manilow, they all sound the same.
Yeah, it's like a crooner type of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally the sounds of the 80s. That's what it is. But it's
but it's like they sort of get this similar style. It's like how all drill sounds the same.
Do you know what it is? Drill's not even a sound. That's just, I don't know what that is. It's like when everyone does sort of music nowadays.
Don't say that too loudly.
What, drill?
No. Drill is it's not even music. Like,
it's not.
Oh, fair enough. Each their own. Opinions are opinions.
Exactly, that's it. And speaking of which, I've got to do a little something as well before we carry on with the show as well. So, as part of the NHS Test and Trace app, the app has launched, as you know, to protect yourself and your loved ones. It is simple to use, and it's the fastest way to see if you are at risk of COVID-19. The app shows you your risk level in your local area. It lets you know if you've been in contact with someone with coronavirus, so you can take the necessary action and to let your loved ones know. It also has a handy QR code scanner to check into venues without having to fill in forms. And everyone we love is in our phone, and now we can use it to protect them by downloading the NHS COVID app. So please encourage your friends and family to download the app today from the App Store and Google Play. So there we go. That's my little bit out of the way. Right. I've got a little bit of sad news to start with. As many of you may have heard today, obviously, Debenhams is the latest casualty of the the lockdown coronavirus year that never was of 2020. So we had the fall of the Arcadia Group yesterday, which to me sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's like the fall of the Arcadia. So that's gone. Debenhams today has confirmed that they are bringing in. The company's going to be liquidated. Yeah, administrators have come in. So there were going to be last-ditch talks for JD Sports to buy the brand, who, funnily enough, also went into administration, I think it was earlier in the year or last year, but bought themselves straight back out of it. It was kind of pre-planned. But yeah, this Debenhams is going to be liquidated, which basically means Debenhams as a company, as a firm, is now dead. It's not coming back. So,
do you know what though? Whenever I went into Debenhams, because I was in Belfast in July, and because we wanted to go to Dublin, we're thinking, just go to Belfast. Same thing. It's not the same thing.
Far from it.
No, I know. But I will say the clubs there are very, very good. Like, wow. I've only ever been to one club in my life,
clubs there.
and I thought it was brilliant, amazing. I was so impressed.
Yeah,
I really want to go again.
Well, hopefully when we get these vaccines,
we
can do. Come on.
Anyway, so we went into Debenhams because I need a bit of a nicer shirt, to be honest, to go into a club. Boy, did I. I didn't bring any like nice clothes with me because I assumed like, oh well. But I went into.
You should just Belfast.
There was
no
nothing.
one will notice.
There was nothing inside this Debenhams that was of interest to me. It just had a bunch of. It was kind of like a mix between John Lewis and Primark.
Yeah, it's kind of the middle. It's kind of the middle bit, isn't it?
But it's not helpful to me because you've got Ralph Lauren on one side of the road, and Gucci, and then Hugo Boss, Moncler, Michael Kors, all the fancy brand names.
Yeah.
Then you've got like these really weird looking clothes, which aren't of M&S, which are sort of like Primark quality, but don't have the same sort of simplistic style you want.
Well,
like for example, I'm wearing a this is a Primark top.
Very good, very nice, very nice. With a little bit of Leonardo DiCaprio on it.
Yeah, this is this is a jumper I bought. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio jumper.
The meme jumper.
Yeah, it's the meme jumper. I was feeling we could get a bit of Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I know. For those who can't see us on Facebook Live, by the way, we have fixed the audio now. I found out what it was. It was actually me doing I turned the microphones on twice, so that was my fault. Sorry for those who I've deafened. Not that you can hear me anymore. But so basically, for those who aren't watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, Henry has got.
Nice. Let me just get up so you can
stand up.
But for our listeners on the radio, maybe you could explain it.
Yeah. So basically, it's the famous meme that's going around at the minute of Leonardo DiCaprio from. I don't think I can say the name of the film, but actually, I think it's Django Unchained. I thought it was the other one, the Inglorious, that I can't finish the name of. So it's basically that with the picture of him with a glass of mulled wine, and it's doing that sort of the laughing face.
Yeah, you can look it up if you're listening in the car. Obviously, not while you're driving.
Yes.
Please. Just look up Leonardo DiCaprio meme and you'll find it. It's very good.
Away,
if you've got kids, they'll have seen it.
Yeah, so that's it. So
that'll probably be a good Christmas present for them. They'd like that.
I mean, it beats my Hamilton jumper, which I'll be honest with you, it's about 3 sizes too big, but still, it was all right. That was clean.
Hamilton is Hamilton. Hamilton.
He's only got one shot. So, which is more than can be said for Debenhams at the minute in the Arcadia group. But so we've got, unfortunately, there's 12,000 people are likely to lose their jobs. There's 124 shops going to be closing. Now, they are still running as normal at the moment because they need to clear their stock. And just before we came on air, I actually looked to see the latest update. And there's going to be, they're having, I think, what's going to be called Wild Wednesday, which is where all the shops are reopening tomorrow, obviously the day after lockdown. And so they're going to be running as normal. They're still accepting their store cards. So anything like that, obviously, still going to be going ahead. But unfortunately, the JD Sports were in talks to actually buy the business, but they pulled out at the last minute. So that's basically 242 years of history now gone, really. And that comes after the day after the Arcadia Group, which owns like sort of Topshop, Miss Selfridge, Burton. They've gone into administration as well.
Do you know what? I'm not. Obviously, the loss of jobs is a very sad fact.
Yeah, especially coming up to Christmas as well.
Coming up to Christmas, they're not even going to get their furlough pay now.
No.
That is a really sad tragedy that they've decided to stop operating, especially at this time.
Yeah.
And what I'm more suspicious about is the UK government's keeping a close eye on Arcadia because apparently some pension money has gone missing.
Yes.
Again.
I know.
BHS. How Sir Philip Green still has a Sir in front of his name shocks me.
I know.
Should be taken away. Like Fred Goodwin, who
to be honest, I
did
think
all that stuff to RBS.
Well, to be honest with you, I think he will. I think he will lose it because
he's got to. It's ridiculous.
He's currently chilling in Monaco at the minute, completely oblivious as to what's going on. Like he doesn't seem to care, does he?
He's a billionaire. He's exploited people. He's going to take away their livelihoods. There's still people from BHS still haven't got all their money back.
Yeah.
The fact that it's been allowed to get away with it again. Well, I mean, at this time, it's supposedly we don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd say there's a high likely chance
that he's done it.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind, doesn't it? Well, I've got to be honest with you. I know that
really
there was
me.
I know. Well, do you know what? There was actually a a report that everybody's favourite, as I like to call him, the magnet, Mike Ashley, was originally going to put in an offer to buy Debenhams, but that fell through. They also said it was actually a bit of a joke thing. I think he tried to go in at the lowest sort of low ball figure possible to try and get it for a bargain. But the thing is, also, that would kind of be a contradiction of interest because, as far as I'm aware, he owns House of Fraser as well as Game and Sports Direct.
I thought House of Fraser and Debenhams were the same thing.
No, they're two separate companies. I know originally, I think the plan was he was going to buy Debenhams after because House of Fraser went bust, so he bought that. That's why now, if you go into House of Fraser and Sports Direct, you've now
looks
got
like Debenhams.
Yeah, and you've got Game outlets as well in Sports Direct and House of Fraser because he's obviously trying to put the two firms together. He owns Game, yeah. Basically, Hilco.
That's a good idea, though.
Well, it's a business
because you want to go into Game. A lot of kids with their parents.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the mum will go, "Oh, look at that nice jumper.
Yeah,
I think I'll buy that."
Yeah, and the fact as well is that Game is now sort of diversifying. So when you, I don't know if you've been into a Game shop recently, they've got everything from sort of mugs to Christmas jumpers. There's merchandise for your favorite characters and stuff. And I think also with the video game industry, it's still a booming market. So I suppose Mike Ashley actually made sense to buy that. And also the fact that Game did go bust, it was taken over by a firm, I think it was actually Hilco, who have got a really good track record of actually turning companies around. I think they even did the same with HMV until the last time that went into administration. But he's actually done quite well with it, and it's now making profits, and they're expanding their stores and things like that. So apart from sort of lockdown and stuff like that, it's working. But the interesting thing, and this is coming from who was this? This is Richard Lim, who's the chief executive of Retail Economics. He seems to think that the reason why Debenhams and all these other retailers on the high street are struggling is because they're being locked into really long lets with their buildings, because obviously they don't own the buildings and stuff. So the only one that Debenhams did own was up in Edinburgh, but the rest of them they all lease out, and they're such long terms and they're so expensive. That's the reason why they're falling flat, because obviously you're still having to pay the rent on the building when you're in lockdown and when everyone's furloughed.
You just can't afford that debt.
Exactly. So you can't. And the fact is, I mean, we had 4 months where no shops opened apart from supermarkets. Yeah. That's 4 months of rent they've got to pay, as well as all the people that are being furloughed.
Why weren't there rent hikes, like rent holidays? Surely there were.
No, I don't think they were. That's. I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, or you know how these things work with the Reds. But as far as I was aware, they were still going, and the companies were still having to pay their rent. That's why certain places, they said when the first lockdown ended, were not coming back because they just couldn't afford to keep the rents going. So certain places that, let's say, like for example, I know that the pub firm that I work at, a couple of their venues closed in the first lockdown and didn't reopen because
rent issues.
Yeah, because of running in price, couldn't afford to couldn't afford to keep them going. So that's kind of the crux of the matter, really. It's so maybe the sector that owns these leases and these letting firms, things like that, maybe you need to look in the mirror, because they could be contributing.
Listen,
to the
you
fact that
can
they're
back
losing
pay
out.
your rent when you're recovered. I would see that as a much more viable option. Whereas now they've left, these companies have gone out of. They've gone out. And I would say this: they're worried that there might be economic scarring from this, i.e., the economy will never recover to what it was previous.
Yeah.
Before there will be a scar left on the economy.
Yeah.
And I would say that definitely be true.
But there's
a lot of industries and a lot of businesses have realized, I don't need to do a delivery every day. I only need to deliver every week.
Yeah.
Of this X product.
And
or
the
this
fact
and
that people now can work from home. You've got things like Microsoft Teams.
Yeah,
you've
and
got
what
Zoom
this
and
has
stuff like
done
that.
is proved to people. What a lot of people didn't want is saying, "Oh no, you can't work from home. It's not productive. It's not possible." But what we've proved is that you can run an entire newspaper from home.
Yeah,
because that's what happened. All the news outlets, home, go.
You just send your reports in, send in your stories, and that's it.
Although, admittedly, I would say that the recording quality is significantly reduced.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. I mean, when we do the shows here, that delay is a real pain in the backside, isn't it? We do that. It's also nice actually having someone back in the studio as well.
Flow and stuff. We can talk and
Exactly.
stuff. It's not there's varying degrees where online will sort of never really replace it until there's significant improvements in what is essentially like if we were VR and it was like lifelike. Then of course I'd be here. Of course I'd do it from home. That'd just be convenient because it feel like
you just come with a VR headset, but still be
just
here.
come on, just like I feel like I'm in the studio. I can look around and
Because
stuff.
I actually am.
And but that would be like almost as lifelike. But other than that, just
it is a shame. I mean, obviously we send our thoughts and prayers out to all the people that are affected with the Arcadia group and with Debenhams as well. Not really something that you want to be going into when it's
but something which I'm going to publicly call for. Not that I feel like this doesn't make much of a difference. I feel a bit like I'm trying to beef myself up here. It's like I have such political power.
Sir, you have a platform.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know how many people are listening right now, but to all the people that are, I am going to start a petition to remove Sir Philip Green's knighthood. I encourage you all to sign it because I don't think he deserves it.
Well, especially as presumably that would have been done for services to what? Business?
Or
services to the retail sector or something like that?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Shut up. You're living on a yacht in Monaco.
I know.
He's not done anyone. I don't think he's done much to help a lot of people.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I still I'm still campaigning for Ozzy Osbourne to get one, just for services to chemical research. But that's just my opinion, because I think that'd be quite well deserved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying.
But I, if there isn't already a petition, I'm going to start a petition to get his knighthood.
I think there needs to
especially if he's pulled another sneaky on people's pensions, which is just disgusting.
Yeah, because it's playing with people's lives and their futures and things like that. It's terrible
for personal gain.
Yeah,
it's just disgusting.
I know there's absolutely no need for it, but
you can't justify it, can you?
No, there is no way you can go. Oh well, sorry, we've moved firms or we've changed pension pots.
Like
there's nothing to say that. It's
like MPs were forecasting to get a pay rise, and Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak actually said something sensible for once. Rishi. They said, listen. We don't think that would be right, and they sent letters to the IPSA, which is the independent body which decides the MPs' wages. And since they've done a public sector pay freeze, they said no, it wouldn't be right for the MPs to get a pay rise now. That would just be wrong.
Yeah,
you can't really justify that.
Yeah.
I was very pleased they said that.
Yeah, it's true.
For once, they saw sense.
Yeah, because let's be honest with you, when there's people going out of work, we've just in 2 days, 23,000 people have just lost their jobs.
Yes.
And then there's MPs who, like Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example, who get paid for lying across a green leatherette sofa to then get a pay rise. I mean, I'm not saying the words revolution or anything like that, but I'm telling you now,
Mate,
France will have no revolution.
No
like
one
us.
in this country will ever have a revolution. And do you know why? Because people have mortgages to pay.
Well,
we're not I would say we're quite an individualist society. And in a collectivist society, much more like France, they're much more likely to go, yes, let's have a general strike. I just don't see it happening in this country because nobody feels like, I've got my common man here, so I'll do a general strike.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to strike this button and play the ads. See you after the break.
Very nice.
As part of the NHS Test and Trace, NHS is launching the COVID-19 app to help protect yourself and your loved ones. Today, I would like to welcome Dr. Jason Wara, OBE, Chief Executive of Lion Croft Wholesale Limited, who is going to advise us on how we can download the app to control coronavirus and safely get on with living. Jason, tell us why this app has actually been launched.
Thank you, G. We live very much in a technological world now, and our day-to-day living centres around our mobile phones. Everyone we love, their contact details are on our phone. So by simply downloading the NHS COVID-19 app from the App Store or Google Play, we can protect them.
Jason, am I right to say it's the fastest way to detect if you are at risk of catching COVID-19?
It informs you if you're at risk of infection due to contact with others or your area has become high risk. And that means you can quickly alert your friends and family. All of us have a social responsibility to control the spread of the virus. It's important that we all download the app today on our phone, encourage others to do the same, and help anyone who isn't familiar with apps.
Fabulous. And I am sure that our listeners are eager to know what the NHS COVID-19 app will actually do.
Yes, let me explain in 4 simple points the purpose of the app. It will tell you anonymously if you've been in contact with someone who has coronavirus. It shows you the risk level in your area and the action to take. It uses a built-in QR code scanner to check in at all venues. And if you have symptoms, you can very conveniently book a test on the app.
So, Jason, as a prominent member of the business community, I am sure having the QR scanner will make entering venues easier and quicker.
Indeed, G. When you check into a venue, be it for a business, you just need to open the NHS COVID-19 app, select venue, check in, and hold your phone up to the QR code on the official NHS poster. And when the app registers the code, you'll see a tick and the name of the venue.
So as you can just imagine, many of us are concerned about our privacy. Can you actually reassure our listeners?
G, the public need not worry at all. The app uses proven Bluetooth technology to protect your privacy. It cannot track your location, check to see if you're self-isolating, or see personal data on your phone, contacts, messages, and all such like. In any case, you're free to delete the app at any time, which will delete any shared data.
That's good to know, Jason. Thank you. So what are your final words of wisdom for our beloved listeners?
The NHS COVID-19 app is absolutely free and available to download now. My advice would be, if you want to protect yourself and your loved ones, download it immediately and tell your friends and family to do the same. Get the youngsters to help you if necessary.
Our much appreciated thanks to Jason for joining us today. The new NHS COVID-19 app is free and available now to download in English, Urdu, Punjabi, Bengali, and Gujarati. Please download the app from the App Store or Google Play today.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah, and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. My name is Thom Hutchinson. It is Tuesday drive time. I'm here with my amazing colleague,
Henry Skirt.
And my dear friend, of course. And did I mention it's the last day of lockdown? Sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
You're really celebrating the fact you're in a lockdown, aren't you, man?
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm literally, hang on, wait. I'm going to do my best impression of Al Gore. Hang on. I will.
I will.
I know. Sorry, I just couldn't help it. I just thought, why not put it on just for a laugh? So, yes, right. I've got a little bit of news again, just to talk about, seeing as we're gonna. Well, we're actually going.
Well, I mean, that's what we do in this show. We talk about the news. Do you know what? I actually like the way we do it because I feel like a lot of people in like the real world look on their phones for the news and they go, yeah. We bring in like a positive light,
exactly.
And we get into it, and we like get people riled up. Like, oh yeah, that's so annoying.
That's it. And the fact is, as well,
I think like it's better than just reading the Evening Stand or whatever.
Well, put it this way, Jen, my lovely friend Jen.
Yes.
She's hello, Jen, if you're listening. She always says she actually prefers listening to us than she does the news. I mean, I honestly, I say.
That's nice. Well, do you know what? Somebody said that about me. Somebody from my church. Bear in mind, I'm not religious, but the church has a great sense of community, as I've begrudgingly admitted to my dad. Like, yes, the church is a very useful thing. Yes, everyone there is very lovely. Like, I already knew that.
Yeah.
But I used to see it sort of something silly because I'm not religious. But I mean, it's lots of community.
Yeah, that's it.
Church.
It's about
very
being
helpful.
people, isn't it?
Everyone
Yeah.
helps each other. Everyone's really nice.
Not the one I went to, but that's another story for another day because I can't really talk about that.
Oh,
I went to one and I was they were trying to convert me. I can't go into detail because obviously I'll get in trouble. But I went to one.
Why would you get in trouble? It's not the Church of Scientology, is it?
No. It wasn't full of lizards. No, I long and the short of it, I went to go and help a friend out at a church, right? The next thing I know, I feel this shove in the back because I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh, can I go? I'm not religious by any stretch of the imagination. The only time I ever go to a church, for a wedding, a funeral, or to burn, right? Simple as that. And it's because do you know what? I come out with a mole every time I do, or a mark, or something on my person every time I go to a church. It's really, I've actually got now like
God's striking fear into you.
I know. I've got Connect 8 going down my arm. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I go in there, and long and the short of it, I'm thinking I just want to go home now. I'm not interested in religion or anything like that. I'm done. And all of a sudden, just I'm getting up. I'm giving a round of applause to the sermon, who I might add is wearing head to toe Armani. Because it's not like you're in your church. It's one of these
It's quite a rich church.
It's one of these newfangled ones where it's kind of in a building and then they play rock music and all this sort of stuff.
I don't want. I mean, the phrase that a lot of people use, I don't like it. Is happy clappy.
Yeah,
but modern worship, I would say.
Yeah,
it's
modern worship.
More appropriate way to describe it.
Well, put it this way: I've never seen a pastor or a reverend wearing head to toe Armani before.
What?
Head to toe?
Really?
Armani baseball cap, Armani
Wow.
black t-shirt,
and you can all. Love in the power of Christ. For only $29.99.
Well, and the best thing was, I was watching a couple of weeks before, and I was watching Hunt for the Wilder People, which is a Sam Neill film, and it's got Taika Waititi in it, who directed it and wrote it, and he also plays a reverend in it. And he goes, sometimes in life it feels like there's no way out, like a sheep trapped in a maze designed by wolves. Because he's obviously, that's a terrible New Zealand accent, but like
I thought you were going for South African there.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. It kind of blends into one. But the funny thing was, no. Let me finish. Because the guy who was, the Reverend Armani.
You better be careful.
The Reverend Armani.
You're going to offend Australians and Kiwis.
I promise you I won't. The Reverend, I swear, all right, and this is on my life.
Clear yourself, but claw it back. Go on.
I'm trying to.
Go on. No, I don't need this claim. Just claw it back.
The Reverend Armani, his accent kept slipping between South African and New Zealand. So whether he was born in one and raised in another, I don't know. But it was honestly, it was so fun. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting away from myself now, right? As I'm getting the evil look.
Yeah, no, I'm just skeptical. You've clawed it back a little bit.
I promise you now.
Don't ever say they're similar, though.
I'll never say they're similar. Never.
Yeah, but
I know they're not.
Yeah.
I know they're not.
Don't say they blend into them.
Anyway, so I was saying.
No. I'm serious about my Kiwi accent. I'm not blinking at the minute. I've just been staring at you for the last. Yeah. All right. Sorry, continue with your religious weird story.
So basically, the Reverend Armani was then doing his sermon, and he was like, "Oh, thank you very much for clapping and all this sort of stuff." And then all of a sudden, I feel a shove from this guy. Yeah, a shove from this guy that I'd gone there to support. And next thing I know, I'm at the altar here, sort of being converted. And, oh, thank you so much. I'm not going to do the accent. Oh, thank you so much for feeling the power of Christ and feeling to be converted and all this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting there going, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm literally going, Lord, smite these people down. I'm telling you now, I've had enough. But it was so weird. And then the best thing was, after I was initiated into the church, some guy tries to cart me away, and I said, "What?" He says, "Oh, what can we pray for you for? What would you like to pray for?" I said, "Well, my mates just started a new business. Can you?"
That's nice.
Yeah. Can you? I want it to see for it. So all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh, I can't hear you. Do you want to just go somewhere?" So tries pulling me away, and then it's like I'm now on my own. And then we're in a hallway, and we're doing and Lord, please do this for Thom and this, that, and the other. And I'm like. And I actually said, and I will never use the Lord's name in vain, not that I believe or anything like that, but I just go, dear Lord, you don't like me and I don't like you. But I promise you now, if you find some way of getting me out of this, I'm going to never take your name in vain and I will be grateful for the rest of my life and I will never slag you off. And all of a sudden, I just feel a pat on my shoulder going, come on, we've got to go. I was like, thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So it was
religious miracle.
Yeah,
I know. God is real.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
But do you know what I was?
It was the most awkward I've ever felt in my life because I'm not religious or anything like that, and I'm literally standing there, and I'm like, for those who can't see, my tick when I'm nervous is I start playing with the back of my head, like my hair, and I start flicking it and pulling it and all this sort of stuff. I've never felt so nervous and like, oh my God, in all my life. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Do you know what? I've been thinking about this a little bit, and. Because today, basically, what I started in my school was a political discussion forum, or just like a general chat forum. Like we talk about like philosophy, sociology, lots kind of just interesting stuff. Yeah. We enjoy it. And we enjoy having a serious conversation every now and then. And it's nice to do it in sort of like a private setting, where you don't get some idiot. Nearly said a very bad word. You don't get some idiot coming in and going, oh yeah, I think this, because there's some people in our school which are just controversial for the sake of being controversial, like
just for hearing their own voice.
I went to debating society and I didn't want to go again because there was a bloke there who was just like, yeah, no, women are just inferior to men. And I was just like, you don't believe that, do you? He's like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just you clearly don't think that because you've been raised in the 21st century. It's just impossible for you to, especially you've been raised in the UK as well. Just shut up.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking it's just irrelevant. Or somebody going, "Oh, coronavirus isn't real."
You know what you could have said? They said,
Ridiculous.
if women are inferior to men, then how comes you were the one who escaped from your father? I can't go into detail because obviously it's a drive time show.
I
but
get it.
We all know how the birds and the bees work. How comes he won the race? Yeah,
I get it. Very nice. Yeah, but so no, we were having a chat, and I was like, dude. So I asked questions like, so in the House of Lords, you've got the Bishop of Canterbury. He gets a seat in the House. A couple of other bishops do as well. And I was thinking, why don't we have imams and Jewish leaders, rabbis? Why don't we have those guys in the House of Lords as well? Because there's a lot of perspective that comes from having multiple religious leaders in one body, contributing to discussion. And everyone's like, yeah, that's a good point. Why don't we? And I was like, well, I'm not personally religious, and I don't really believe in God. But I mean, I was like, it's like believing in Santa Claus, to be honest. And the thing is,
thin line here.
No. I understand this is somewhat controversial, but we've never seen Santa Claus, and we've never seen God. And yet, it was interesting to me is that these people, it's like if everyone wanted to believe that Santa Claus was real, then there would be degrees of faith. You have to have a degree of faith in something in order to believe in it. And up until like certain ages, people believe that Santa Claus is real because their presents magically appear out of nowhere. Like, Santa Claus is real. It's not my parents. No, I think that's really special because to a degree, it's sort of like very magical and it's a sort of safe space. And for a lot of people, they thought that religion is a good way to sort of fall back onto it answers questions to those of the unknown. I think a lot of people fear the unknown. Yeah. And so I think religion in a way is very much like Santa Claus. It's comforting. Yeah. And Karl Marx, who was he was a controversial figure, especially
he was
today.
A philosopher as well.
Yeah, he was a philosopher of like ideology. He came up with socialism and anarchism,
Marxism and stuff.
Yeah, Marxism and stuff. And he said he diagnosed a lot of society's problems today. Wow, getting really philosophical.
And you've got 20 seconds to do it.
I know, let me do it. And he said religion is an opioid for the masses. Boy, was he right. Just 2.1 billion people are Christian.
It's true, actually.
Billions are Muslim. Billions are Jewish.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It'd be something. Maybe we should carry on with that in the next show. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to pray to our overlords and go to the ads. See you in a bit.
As winter approaches, here's a critical reminder of coronavirus symptoms from Dr. Gupta.
The main symptoms of coronavirus are a high temperature or a new continuous cough or a sudden loss or change in your sense of smell or taste. If you have any of these, to protect yourself and others, it is critical you isolate at home, even if you don't feel too bad. And you must book a test immediately. Use the NHS COVID-19 app or go to gov.uk/coronavirus.
Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no-obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
Did you know that girls like Noura walk an average of 3 miles every day in search of clean water to support their families? Minhaj Welfare Foundation believes you can end the water crisis by building small and large-scale water projects. Your charity is helping improve the lives of communities living in the poorest regions of the world. However, more needs to be done. Support Water for All. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 3030 777. Or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
फ्लू वायरस से अपने आप को बचाएं। हर साल फ्लू तकरीबन 11,000 लोगों की जान लेता है और हजारों लोग हॉस्पिटलाइज भी होते हैं। फ्लू एक ऐसा वायरस है जो सीरियस कॉम्प्लिकेशंस पैदा कर सकता है। इसीलिए हम आपको फ्लू जैब देते हैं बिल्कुल फ्री, क्योंकि यही आपका बेस्ट प्रोटेक्शन है। आज ही अपने फार्मासिस्ट या जीपी से पूछिए कि आप इस फ्री फ्लू वैक्सीन के हकदार हैं या नहीं। NHS, फ्लू से बचने के लिए हेल्प अस, हेल्प यू।
The new NHS COVID-19 app shows me my risk of coronavirus and helps me protect my mum.
It lets me know fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can quickly warn Dan.
It shows me the risk level in my area immediately, so I can tell Sue.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, like Kim and Chris.
The more of us who get the app,
the better we can control coronavirus.
Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you. Hands.
Face.
Space.
As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Oh Allah the Almighty, Allahu Allah, protect me and guide me, Allahu Allah, oh to your love and mercy, Allahu Allah, Ya Allah don't deprive me, Allahu Allah, from beholding your beauty, Allahu Allah, oh my Lord accept this plea.
This is
Revive FM
94.0 with the latest news from around the world.
From the Sky News Centre at 6, 2 people have died in Germany after a car drove into a pedestrianised area in the southwestern city of Trier. Officials say one of those killed is a baby. A 51-year-old male driver has been arrested and the street's been cordoned off. The city's Lord Mayor Wolfram Liebert can't believe what's happened.
We see these pictures on television from other countries, and we are thinking, this can't happen in Trier. And now it happened in Trier. And I'm standing here as Lord Mayor and I am speechless.
Boris Johnson's offering England's pubs, which don't serve food, an extra £1,000 this month while they're closed. MPs will vote on the tier system shortly. It's expected to pass despite opposition from many backbench Tory MPs and come into force tomorrow. Another 603 people have died with coronavirus in the UK. That's roughly the same as last Tuesday's figure. Debenhams will be wound down in the new year after the last potential buyer pulled out. Its shops will stay open for now, but 12,000 jobs are on the line. Yesterday's collapse of Arcadia, whose brands sell through the chain's department stores, appears to have contributed to the decision. The Queen and Prince Philip have scrapped plans to make their usual Christmas trip to Sandringham. It's normally the venue for a big gathering of members of the royal family over the festive period, but coronavirus guidelines mean the couple will spend it quietly at Windsor instead. Here's our royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills.
We've also just heard that apparently the Queen won't be going to church on Christmas morning. That is because they don't want to encourage people to gather. This is a huge break in tradition. It's 33 years since they last didn't go to Sandringham.
And Newcastle's Premier League fixture against Aston Villa on Friday has been postponed after an outbreak of coronavirus at the North East club. Several players have tested positive for COVID-19, while their training centre has also been temporarily closed. That's the latest. I'm
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello, you're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott, and I'm here in the studio today with my wonderful co-host,
Thom Hutchinson.
Hey, we're back.
I know. Hang on, I've just got to give me 1 second. I've got to swap because these are the headphones that only have one earpiece.
I was doing it for the whole hour. It was kind of cool, wasn't it?
It's
I liked
weird.
it.
It affects my like depth. I can't even tell if I'm shouting or not. Well, I probably am shouting, but there we go.
I've got a nice Christmas jumper on for those of you on Facebook Live.
I know. Get on to Revive FM UK and on YouTube as well. It's amazing. Oh, that's better. Now I can hear myself. It's not just the voices in my head I can hear anymore. It's brilliant. There we are.
And remember, we are a call-in show.
Yes.
So I'm hoping maybe one of you will call in this week.
Yes, we'd
and
like you to call in.
You're listening to Revive FM 94.0, and we have a studio number. It is 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. To WhatsApp us as well and go to our website, www.revivefm.co.uk.
Michael McIntyre.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to this week in politics, and I hate to go into it, but I feel like I've just got to do it for 5 minutes.
Do it.
Basically. Do it. Keir Starmer is playing politics, and Boris Johnson has condemned him for that. He's like, no, you can't play politics in the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. That's his job. He's a politician.
The point.
It's his job to play politics.
He's the leader of the opposition.
And also, it's got to a point where Boris Johnson has performed so badly. We need someone saying you're doing a bad job. Can't go, oh, yeah, well, the government's, we're trying to help them out. Like, nah, they're doing a terrible job. You don't have to do that. Anyway, Boris Johnson is braced for a damaging Tory rebellion over COVID tier controls. Up to 70 MPs are supposedly going to rebel about England's new COVID tier system, especially lots of MPs in the north and part of the Blue Wall who are very upset that their constituents have been placed in tier 3. Over 99% of the British population has been placed in the top 2 tiers. But don't worry if you're in tier 2, because you'll be able to get a pint and a Scotch egg as a substantial meal.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm dreading that. But here's the thing I don't get. And
I really want to try a Scotch egg. I've never had one.
You've never had one?
Well, no, because I've been allergic to eggs for most of my life. So it's only recently I've just started eating stuff with egg in it.
Okay.
It's really, eggs are delicious.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Next week, I'll sort a good source of protein. I'll tell you what, I'll sort you out with a Scotch egg next week.
Bring it into the studio.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're not supposed to have food in there, but then again, it's a Scotch egg, isn't it? I mean, it's a substantial meal.
Get a newspaper, put it down.
Exactly.
It's a free evening stand.
Yeah, it's a substantial meal, isn't it? So we're allowed to have that. We'll just, if anyone questions it.
See how long it takes me to eat it.
or we just have a Scotch egg eating contest and see who can eat the most in a given amount of time.
But do you know what, though, right? Boris Johnson is, the reason this is happening is because Keir Starmer has been a sneaky boy. And he is bracing. He's basically told Labour to abstain from voting.
Yeah.
So he's done a bit of a Jeremy Corbyn and done an abstain, because they don't, basically what they don't want to do is vote yes or no and then take part of the blame if it goes wrong or right. Basically, they don't want that risk, which I think is fair enough. And it'll be incredibly interesting because I think a lot of Conservative MPs have decided that lockdowns do more damage than good, and I would say they're possibly right.
I'd say
to a degree. Yeah. I mean, lockdowns are incredibly damaging.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been better to have lockdown for the time that we did and then eliminate community transmission. Because then we could have had because our economy is services based. You can still operate like 90% of the economy. Yeah. Whereas now we're not operating 100% of it by killing everything. And, there's some pub owners. If you heard about the pub owner who can't open because he's in a tier 3, but down the road, there's a pub which is open in a slightly different county, but it's only a mile down the road, and it is open. Yeah, they're in tier 2, so he is opening. So one bloke has to stay closed, and the other one can open. That seems unfair.
Well, they did that in Wales during the first lockdown, because I was listening to an old podcast the other day, and they were talking to. There was literally, and I'm not joking. They're just across the street. So can you just turn my audio level?
Yeah, sure, man, no problem.
Right. There we go. There we go. I can hear myself now. Thank you. So there was these 2 pubs, and it's literally across the street. One is Wales, one is England. So literally across the street. This is not even making up.
Yeah.
And one of them, I think it was the English pub, because their lockdown
was later and longer.
Yeah. So
in Wales they had a fire break.
I know. It's amazing. I won't lie to you. It was the weirdest
Should
thing
we go
ever.
to Pontypandy?
Oh, that'd be nice. And then we got to go see Delis. Was it her name? Delis? Was that it?
And what is it? Langholland. Just go.
Yeah. Llanfali Sicily or something like that. But it's the long thing. But yeah, basically it was so odd because literally crossing the street, this guy couldn't open his pub, but the one in Wales could. And it got to the point that he was even saying that the guy from England, if you want to come over and have a thing, we'll set a table up for you. But it was so bizarre. But yeah, it's not just the economic thing. It's also down on the mental side of things as well, like people's mental health. And, we were talking about with the first lockdown, people sort of say stuck in abusive relationships and really tough situations and things like that. And you think, how do they survive? It's kind of like those little, those worrying bits that not many people talk about. Am I just going off on a weird tangent here? I mean, if
no, you're spot on. Because I mean, that's a massive problem. And do you know what we also learned during this lockdown is that some people were just misusing A&E.
Yeah, because there was a photo that there was an A&E nurse where she said that coronavirus is a load of nonsense or something like that.
She got fired, didn't she?
I think so. Or so. Yeah, there was another one who's been let go. Yeah, and then there was a lady who was in the Sun, so take it with a pinch of salt. But she took a picture of an empty A&E ward and saying, "Oh, coronavirus! Look, there's nothing."
Yeah, but that's why there was.
Well, they don't put them. But they don't put them in an A&E ward. They put them in their own coronavirus wards now, don't they? That's the
because initially when I went, it was in the A&E ward. The coronavirus ward was the A&E ward. Yeah, and A&E was moved elsewhere in the hospital.
Yeah.
And do you know what I thought was very interesting is that during lockdown, the first lockdown, I can't believe we've had two. It's just ridiculous.
We might be having a third in about a month.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I've got a bit to say on that. I'm very annoyed. No, but what? So we've got coronavirus lockdown, right? And essentially, A&E admissions have fallen dramatically.
Yeah.
Now that is in part due to a lot of people not having their normal injuries. Getting in car crashes and stuff like that.
That's true.
Fair enough, but that only contributes to a small amount. And A&E waiting times are crazy big. And it's because they can't turn people away, because the risk is you turn someone away. If you give people authority that, people will get turned away, and some of them will actually have proper injuries, and it will be bad. And so what I was thinking, right, was what lockdown proved is that A&E admissions dropped by 90%. It's insane, right? Which means that a lot of the people who were using A&E didn't need to go to A&E because they suddenly couldn't. So they thought, it's fine, it's lockdown, I'll just sleep it off.
But
I'm
then
at home
again,
anyway.
Do you know what, though? The other thing I would say is that, because I actually went to A&E back in July. I mean, you know the story.
Was it quiet then?
It wasn't heaving. I'd say when I was there was probably about 10 people in.
Yeah,
10 to 12 people.
but that's the thing, is that's what it should be, because accident and emergency, it implies you have an accident or an emergency.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who have a cold, right, they'll go to A&E. You're not supposed to go to A&E when you have a cold. You should go to your GP. And the reason people go is because they're like, I don't want to wait a week. I suppose I'll just go now.
But
that causes their waiting times to go up.
Yeah, but do you know what happened with me, right? So I actually called my GP because I broke my coccyx on the Saturday. Right?
What's your coccyx?
Tailbone.
Okay, yeah.
So I was acting like an idiot, and it was coccyx and nose within the space of 30 seconds because I was acting like an idiot. So I told
this was in July?
Yeah, did I not tell you the story?
What did you do?
Right, so back when sort of lockdown was being eased, I was sort of like, there was a couple of mates who came out and they were all going to go out. I was staying because I didn't want to. I was going to just stay out and do a workout and watch a film. I wanted to have a chill for the night because I'd just come back from work. Hadn't eaten anything since breakfast, and it was about 6 o'clock at night. So me being an idiot,
mate, I'm sorry, that's a non-starter there anyway.
I know.
Donut.
I know.
I've got no sympathy for you. If you're about to tell me, I fainted and that's how I did it.
No, I pretended to faint. That was what happened. So basically, I fall backwards. I whack my tailbone off of the metal carpet.
I shouldn't be laughing at you.
No, it gets better. It gets better. It's the sort of thing that Norman Wisdom would have been proud of, or Michael Crawford, from Some Others Do Have Them. So I break my tailbone off of those metal carpet rails.
Yeah.
You have the ends to separate rooms. Whacked off of that, and I was like, oh my God, got up. And I'm already limping because it's like the shock's gone right on my back, and I've got a bad back anyway.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I feel very lightheaded, and I'm thinking, hang on, I'm going down it, and my left leg buckles, and I smack my nose off of the granite worktop in my kitchen.
Ambulance?
No ambulance, but basically knocked myself out for about 5 seconds. But then nose swells up, blood everywhere, and I'm just like, oh, great, okay. So I stayed in all night. And it just,
Great job.
That's it. It just stays it. Well,
Great job, Tom.
Yeah, because I just thought, all right, it's a broken nose. They won't reset it because it's cosmetic and they don't do it. And then eventually it was getting to the point I thought, do you know what? I'm going to call up the GP on Monday, tell them I've had it, and they'll just say, all right. I just said, can you give me some painkillers or something like that? The guy said, no, you've broken it. Go down to A&E. So now I've got to sit in A&E. I'm wasting their time. And they've said, well, we can't really do anything for your tailbone. I was like, I know that. You can't fix a tailbone. It's not something that can be fixed with surgery. It has to heal up on its own. So I'm always going to have a fracture there or something. It will just heal up to its best of its abilities. My nose, on the other hand, because I was having problems breathing, and I still have problem breathing now wearing a mask. So even though I don't want to do the exempt thing because my pub won't allow me to do it, I have to wear a mask regardless. So I have to choose between breathing and wearing this thing. So this is supposed to be fixed at some point. But all they did was they took an X-ray and they said, yeah, it's broken. I was like, well, it's splattered across my face. I could tell you that right now. And they said, well, why did you come down here? I said, because my GP told me to. So it's like, that's probably the other reason why there were so many people going to A&Es, because their GPs were referring them.
Yeah, I mean, I just, to a degree, like, yeah, I agree with that. It was like, to be honest, I broke my foot, right? I broke my pinky toe. I broke my big toe. It was
really?
worse,
Oh,
quite sore, to be honest. And I was just sort of like, oh, well, I'm seeing because I've had lots of feet problems. So I regularly would have appointments with my orthopedic surgeon, sometimes once a year, sometimes more often if I was having a surgery or whatever. I thought, well, I'm only seeing her in 4 days. She can sort it out.
Yeah.
Probably be fine. It was probably just a fracture or bruised it or something. And I had broken it. I waited 4 days. However, I did get really good care rather than having to wait in A&E.
Yeah.
Because it's just sort of like, hey, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I got to wear a moon boot. Moon boots are very comfortable.
That's what Joe Biden's going to have to wear for the next few weeks.
They're really fun, though. Can I just say they do get a bit smelly after a while?
I'm not surprised. You're wearing a cast, and then it's like if you're walking around on it. I mean, I don't know about you.
They're so much fun.
They don't look.
They're really comfortable. They're really comfortable.
They don't look it though.
Trust me, they're better than a cast. And I've had castings.
I thought you had to wear a cast and a boot.
No. I only had to wear when I was younger. I had to wear casts to manipulate the growth of my legs. I prefer a moon boot any day.
So with a moon boot, then you don't have to wear a cast then, because I always thought it was a case of cast. And then it was just stop you from having
just
crutches.
moon boot, because the moon boot acts as a cast.
Oh, right. See.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Learn something new every day on this show.
Keeping you nice set.
Keeping you informed in lockdown. That's what we do.
But yeah, no. We've gone. Did I even explain what was going to happen about Boris Johnson's
you were saying
rebellion?
You were saying that some of the Tory MPs are going to rebel.
Yeah. So about 70 of them, and that's teetering on losing his majority there. But that would be humiliating for a government of his size and a majority of his size to lose a vote.
Well, did you hear as well?
That'd be a massive hint of no confidence.
Yeah. Well, did you hear that one of the MPs there in Prime Minister's questions? I can't remember where was it. Not Sutton. Where was it? It was Slough. That's it. Who basically asked Boris Johnson why, bearing in mind
Slough's in tier 1, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're in tier 2, but only because, if I'm right, they've gone into tier 2 because of the number of people in the area. So kind of it works out that there's a higher percentage of coronavirus cases because there's not as many people in the area as, let's say, London.
Oh no, it's the only place in London which is in tier 3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was.
No, because everywhere else in London is tier 2.
I must have misheard it. But it's because it's only a small section. But if I'm right, though,
I'm unlucky.
As far as I'm aware, Slough actually isn't in London anyway. I might be wrong. Isn't that Hertfordshire? I swear Slough is Hertfordshire.
No. Slough's out west. It's past Heathrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why.
You learnt another thing.
I know. There's 2 things in one lifetime. I'm doing well here. But yeah, it was. Yeah. There's people in Slough going, he doesn't know where he is. What? But it was so funny. But it's again because of the amount of people that actually live in Slough. That's why they're in a tier 3 because their amount is higher on the ratio. If that makes sense. So it's kind of
that's pointless. Redbridge has been higher for weeks. Why isn't that in a lockdown?
Because there's more people in Redbridge.
But just. That's ridiculous.
I know.
Redbridge has had higher case rates for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, and I understand that a borough lockdown would not work out very well because lots of people have to go through and their local supermarket is elsewhere.
But they're in there's only, I think I read it yesterday. So there's only 17 parts of the UK where coronavirus cases have actually increased, and Redbridge is not one of them. Epping Forest is, so I'm screwed. But it's.
Do you know what I find quite funny? Right. Where am I going with this? Right. So tier 1
Yes.
doesn't suppress coronavirus cases.
No. It's just telling you be a bit vigilant. Just keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Maintain
Tier
the
1
distance.
does not suppress coronavirus cases, and they call it the medium tier.
Mm.
And if it doesn't suppress coronavirus cases, why are you putting any part of the country in a tier 1 where coronavirus cases are not suppressed?
Yeah. I mean, we'll be thankful we're not in Scotland because they've got 4 tiers.
Oh,
That's the new one.
terrifying.
Well, Edinburgh and Glasgow, if I'm right, they are tier 4, aren't they? It's certain parts.
Yeah, no,
of
Scotland's
Edinburgh.
not doing very well as deaths or cases as a proportion at the minute. It's very, very high.
Well, then Wales is having a curfew from Friday.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Insane.
No beer at all to be sold after 6 o'clock?
You can't serve alcohol, and restaurants have to close at 6.
Yeah, which is, let's be honest, terrible. I mean, that is shocking. But then again, they've only just come out of a lockdown. So how has it got that bad so far already?
I don't know. Well, because they only had a 2 week, didn't they?
Yeah, but still, for the size of the principality, though, it's not exactly.
It's all by proportion, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because that's what people are trying to minimise. Because the thing is,
that's why Northern Ireland's got one.
Yeah, because everyone thinks, it's coronavirus only got a 0.2% death rate. Why are we, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, 0.2 or 0.3% of the UK is 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Or is it 3 million? No, I think it's 3. It's
3 million, isn't it? I think.
No, it's 0.3%.
0.3.
Do you know what? Let me just do this real quick because I don't want to mislead anyone here, and that would be very unfair of me.
But then the funny thing is as well that the R number's also dropping as well. So we're now between 1 and 0.9.
Yeah, which means it's staying the same or getting very small.
It's getting slightly smaller. Yeah. So as opposed to infecting, what was it, 1 in every 100,000 people, we're now infecting 0.9. So basically, this part of me is going to be infected. By 0.3% of 67 million is 2 million people. So our coronavirus only has a death rate of 0.3%, 0.2%. That's still 2 million people. Imagine 2 million people dying in the UK. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, not in a good way, but that's shocking. Wow, that is a shocking statistic.
It's a good thing you cleared that up.
No, wow, that's incredible. No, wow, that is a shocking statistic because lots of people are like, coronavirus. Who cares?
Do you know what I think?
2 million people.
I think it's the fact that we get bombarded with so many figures and statistics and numbers and things like that. But that is the problem because the country is, I suppose, for lack of a better term, it's devolved into different areas. Principalities. You've got Northern Ireland.
Well, I mean,
it gets confusing, isn't it? We can't just have one central number.
Yeah, because everyone goes, 600 people. that's bad.
Exactly.
Because you've got, and the thing is, if you let coronavirus run wild. NHS can't cope, and then people who could be treated don't get treated, and they die.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're having lockdowns is basically to protect.
We can't
NHS.
deal
That's
with
the
the
point of it.
capacity.
Yeah,
I'm sure if the Conservatives were up for it, they'd let the virus run wild because they think, 2 million people, nothing. The problem is, that would be the mindset of some people, sadly, in this country. But what you have to understand is that's 2 million people at the end of the day, by proportion. That's a lot of people.
Families.
A lot of people would feel very uncomfortable with that.
Well, it's basically like the purge, isn't it? If you look at it that way. I mean, it's 2 million it's 2 million people.
It's 2 million families.
2 million
It's 2
families
million
be affected.
grandparents, grandmas, mothers, sons, daughters.
Exactly.
And that's when it becomes not okay.
Yeah.
It's not 0.2%. That's not bad. It's not very much. Scale it up. It's a scale issue.
Exactly.
Because if I said 0.2% of this and that and the other, what happened?
Yeah. It's just shocking.
Yeah.
But hopefully we're going to be getting this down, and fingers crossed we'll do. I know they're saying the cases have dropped by a fifth, haven't they? So,
although I personally, that's the thing. And I think in the next section, because we've got to segue into another lockdown / break now. Of the lockdown of our voices. Lockdown of our voices.
Very good, sir.
We're going to talk about what may happen in January if over Christmas people socialise like crazy. So do stay tuned. This is Revive FM. You can remember to call in and give us your thoughts on the lockdown on 0333 444 0940. We'll be right back.
This is Aisha. Her father died in an accident at a very young age. She lives with her mother and siblings. There are millions like Aisha who do not have access to the very basics of life, resulting in her and many others not being able to attend school. Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your charity is dedicated towards supporting the full needs of orphans and needy children around the world. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 3030 777. or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you. Hands.
Face.
Space.
As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Part of the NHS Test and Trace, NHS has launched a COVID-19 app. Using the app will help everyone like yourself, your family and your friends and the wider community to control coronavirus and safely live your lives. So today with us, guys, we have Amir Barkor from the IT company Intech with us to give us more details about this app. Hello, Amir. Do you think launching this app was a good idea?
In this day and age, we do everything on our phone. In fact, everyone we love is on our phone. And now we can use it to protect them by just downloading and using the NHS COVID-19 app. It is so simple and quick, and that is what we need right now. Because the faster you know, the quicker you can alert and protect your loved ones and help control coronavirus.
Download the NHS COVID-19 app from the App Store or Google Play to protect our loved ones. The app will also be available in different languages like Bengali, Urdu, Gujarati and Punjabi.
This is an important update about coronavirus. To help save lives, new national restrictions are now in place until the 2nd of December. You must stay at home. Only leave home for food, medical reasons, exercise, education or work. You must work from home if you can and avoid travel unless essential. Go to gov.uk/coronavirus for latest guidance and exemptions. Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
Kebabish Original, one of the biggest names in the restaurant trade. Visit your local KO to experience the thrill of the grill and the most authentic Pakistani cuisine. From our kebabs to our curries and from our mixed platters to our peri-peri, our chefs prepare your food in front of you while you wait. KO is now offering franchise opportunities. To take advantage of our proven and successful business model, contact us on 0208 446 7779 or visit kebabishoriginal.co.uk.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello, you're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott and welcome to the Drive Time Hour on Revive FM 94.0. And I'm here in the studio today with my wonderful co-host,
Thom Hutchinson.
Welcome. And this is a studio call-in number. So if you want to call into our show, it's 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. We want to hear how you're doing and what you're up to during this past lockdown, and if you'll be going out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were just talking about on the breaks. I think the microphones might have gone live in case anyone was wondering. We
no, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, that's all right. Well, we were actually just discussing because the news has just come out with the actress formerly known as Ellen Page has now identified as transgender and now wishes to be known by the name of Elliot. So will now be Elliot Page. So that's for those who don't know, it was the actress or actor now, as we have to say, of Juno, X-Men, and things like that. So
I will say, just straight off the bat, there, your thing about actress actor brings up a great point about the political correctness of this, because this is what we were discussing in the break, is what does she identify as, this stuff. And when it comes to the transgender debate, I'm fully supportive of whatever you want to identify as. If you feel like you're a man, and you're biologically a woman. Sex is something which is biological. You cannot change your sex. However, you can't identify as a different sex. However, you can identify as a different gender. Gender is a freedom of expression. Gender is subjective. It's not objective. Yeah, I think that's a liberty that all of us can take for granted at times, because what a lot of people do to us, like, well, why can you identify? Piers Morgan loves gaslighting this issue, and he's always going like, oh yeah, well I can identify as a penguin. Then it's like, yeah, you're just doing that for attention.
Exactly.
Piers. Of course, you can identify a penguin if you want to, but you're just doing it to take the mick. And I'm sure not, and a lot of other people, what you're essentially doing is taking the mickey out of them. So I don't like that about Piers Morgan.
No.
I don't think a lot of people do. It's just gaslighting. But what you brought up there, you said actress, actor. Some people get offended if you call them an actress.
Yeah, well,
because actor is supposedly a term deemed for male. But why am I an actress? Why can I not be an actor?
Yeah,
and I think that's a very normative issue.
With Sam Smith as well, because they now wish to be identified as they and them.
Yeah, and then that
doesn't want to be male or female.
That's another thing.
Neutral.
That pansexual.
Yeah.
If you are pansexual, you fancy any gender. Where if you're bisexual, you only fancy male and female.
Yeah.
And some people, I've got a friend who is she says she's pansexual, but she tells people she's bisexual to avoid the sort of nicheness of it. So I'm like, surely if you're bisexual,
is that to try not to confuse people? Is it?
Yeah,
it's going to be easier for them to understand.
And you know what? There's a degree of me that goes, "Oh, that's nonsense," because naturally, I feel like something new and something you're not very familiar with, you have an intention to go, "Oh, that's nonsense." But then, on the other hand, I do have to be understanding and go, "Well, it's their free will, and I have to respect their opinion, and I respect who they want to identify as. And if they want to say they are pansexual as opposed to bisexual, to be specific about who they fancy, then that is their prerogative, and I fully support them.
That's it. I mean, as long as it's like, my philosophy is always, as long as it's not harming anybody else, do what you want.
Yeah,
and that's what I always tell my kids. When
that is the part of a libertarian society. We live with these free civil liberties, and there's something called the harm principle. I think I've mentioned this before, and it's whereby you should be able to do anything you want as long as it doesn't harm anyone else.
Yeah,
and that's a very libertarian mindset to have. And you respect everyone's freedom of choice and freedom of identification. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's true, because that's it. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't like to be told how to live my life, and some people have tried in the past, and I've told them to go and take a walk. Not using those exact words. But like, I would then feel if I want that, I need to give that same level of respect to everybody else. So, as I say, as long as it's not illegal, and there was a wrestler by the name of Taz years ago. His real name is Peter Znercher. He's 5'8", built like a tank from Brooklyn, New York, and he was absolutely terrifying. And then I met him, and he was the nicest guy ever. And he's a family man. He's got 3 kids, enjoys a cigar and all this sort of stuff, and dresses in like really sharp suits. And he just always had this quote, and it stuck with me. And this is kind of, I think, where I suppose if I'm a libertarian or whatever, this is where it comes from. And he said, "I've always said to my kids, because it's thick Brooklyn accent, I've always said to my kids, if I don't care what you do, but if I find out that it's illegal, or I'm gonna you're hurting somebody else, I break your legs." Simple as that. I just think you know where you stand with, and
you know where you stand with the man, don't you?
The man's a black belt in judo. I know where I stand.
Yeah, you do know. Well, you won't be standing, will you?
Exactly. It was the best thing was when he said, "Hey, I remember you're Sue's friend. Yeah, let's start with the obligatory handshake picture." And I'm not making it up. This is how he talks. If go and Google Taz in WWE, I think he now works for AEW. He's the commentator, but honestly, one of the scariest, shortest. I mean, he's only my height. He's only 5'8".
Wow.
But he weighs, when he was wrestling, he was 248 pounds, so about 15 and a half stone. But he was built like a tank. And he wrestled for about a good 10 years 10 years. That's an exaggeration. He wrestled for about probably 8 years with a broken neck and just kept having physiotherapy on it, and eventually had to call it a day.
That is so impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
That's real courage there. That is amazing.
And just a really genuinely nice guy. Never heard a bad word against him. But anyway, I'm digressing now. We've gone from Elliot Page to Taz.
We like doing that though. I mean, it's a very important, it's an important phrase to know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I sort of want to draw the conversation back to the new COVID tiers and also Christmas.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So Boris loves coming up with lots of different names for all these little plans and stuff. So track and trace and having 500,000 tests a day, which has failed miserably, by the way.
What was it? It is the season to be jolly, and also it is the season to be jolly well careful.
Yeah. And there was he has Operation Moonshot and Operation this, that, and the other, and Christmas, Operation Return Students, whatever. Coming up with these ridiculous names for coins and stuff like that. But I mean, so getting university students home, having them go home in a staggered return, and so. But then Boris Johnson unveiled Christmas plans, and what I thought was quite disgusting of the British government, and I'm not saying, I did have my head turned a little bit on this, which I think is fair enough, because 80% of this country is white, 50% of this country is Christian, and what I was complaining about is it's unfair for the government to plan for a religious British white Christian holiday, and invoke lockdowns the day before Eid and the day before Diwali. And I thought that it doesn't sit right with me. I don't think it's fair. Because if you're a Muslim in this country, you are to me you're a fellow Brit. You're a British person. I'm never going to say to you, go back home to where you came from. That's just not right, because you're British to me. You're my fellow citizen. I'm always going to help you out. If you can't, I remember I saw this great story. Is a bloke was saying, like, I was standing in a coffee line one morning and I couldn't afford the coffee, and so I let my fellow Brit, and this was like in the 90s, it's like, and let my fellow Brit go thirsty? Absolutely not. I'll pay for that for you, mate. No problem.
Nice,
And he says, the beautiful thing about that to me, he says, I am a British Sikh. And there's one of those stories like that which really warm your heart. Like, that's the spirit of Britain, is multicultural society, integration, all that. And something I thought was quite unfair is that we've really planned for Christmas here. We have 5 days of loose restrictions, mixing with households, going to the pub, no curfews. Let's go. We're all going to drop down a tier for 5 days. Brilliant. And we'll end up back in a lockdown.
Oh yes, it's going to happen, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's as inevitable as the tides, because
I don't want another lockdown for 5 days of
I've
fun.
had enough. I just get the urge to go back to work, and I'm thinking, right, okay, here we go. I mean, the only good thing is that I'm actually going to be moving house in January. At least I'll have time to actually pack, which would be good, because otherwise I don't see the point of keep going lockdown, going back.
Boris really cannot have 5 days of freedom for a month's lockdown, especially with this new rebellion coming on his hands.
I know.
I don't see how it's viable. Well, he's going to be out of a job.
I think he will be.
He's on his second strike now.
Yeah, it does beg the question, doesn't it? But then
first was the Dominic Cummings, then there was the Priti Patel, now this.
But then
he's on his last leg.
But where's he getting this from? That's the thing. I mean, because obviously, I presume this would be Chris Whitty and Patrick Vance will.
And a team as well, so Sage as well.
Sage as well. So I presume they've obviously said, because don't they always look at everything as the worst case scenario? So I suppose if it's the worst case scenario,
I mean, we do plan for worst case.
I mean, we're British. We're pessimistic at the best of times. It's like when we go into the World Cup. It's like, well, if we get through the knockout stages, we'll be happy. No, we want to win the thing.
We did really well last one. We broke the curse.
Yeah, do you know why? Do you know why? Because we went into it with the lowest of low expectations. Do you know why? Because during that European match, and I'll never forget it, because it was the day my mum came out of hospital after being told, sorry, you're not going to make it. We had that England-Iceland match, and we got absolutely decimated. And when we lost, was it 2-1? I mean, I didn't
something like that.
I won 40 quid, so I wasn't bothered. I was happy with that.
Yeah, happy days.
Yeah, I was happy with that. Sort of, I was sitting there doing
coming home.
I was, not for another 4. Yeah, not for another 4 more years. Actually, that's what we'll be saying at Christmas. We're coming home. We're coming home. Yeah, not after that.
To give our grandparents coronavirus. Because the thing is, I know we shouldn't laugh about that because it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
But what I think is absolutely comical about the UK government, I'm sitting up now. That's how serious I am.
He's taking it seriously. He's getting in his chair.
The reason that this is so comical and slightly disgusting, in my opinion, is that Boris Johnson goes, "Yep, you'll be able to enjoy 3 household this Christmas. Stay safe, be vigilant, follow the rules, and I hope we can enjoy 25th December."
And then someone says,
and then Patrick Valance and Chris Whitty come out and they're like, "Put your grandparents by the window, by the way."
Why?
What kind of a message does that send?
Grandparents
They're
by the
literally
window.
Allowing people to, because some grandparents they go, I don't care about coronavirus, and you're going to have loads of deaths, loads of cases. People are going to be mixing households. It's ridiculous.
Well, put it this way: like I've got one offer from one of my cousins to come for Christmas. So
I go.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it. It's going to be 3 households, so I'll be the 3rd household. It'll be my uncle Derek and Jackie, who are also high risk. Hi guys, if you're watching.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Ria, who is expecting her 2nd child, also high risk, and my cousin-in-law Mike, Ria's husband, whose uncle has just had a kidney removed, so he's technically also high risk. So as much as I want to go, I've said yes for the minute. I'm now thinking to myself, do I want to really risk giving all these high-risk people, potentially giving them coronavirus?
Well, I mean, what you could do is get yourself a COVID test the day before.
I could do, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's the whole. This is where I'm confused because
you can buy them in Boots for $5, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you can do, but then the thing is as well is that don't you have to, regardless if it's a negative test or a positive test or whatever, don't you still have to self-isolate for the full 10 days?
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're introducing freedom passes though.
Right. Well, no, they were talking about it, but I think they've said they're not going to. It was going to be for. Was it for passports? Wasn't it? Coronavirus passports.
Yes, something like that. But I mean, there's still the idea is that if they had planned it in the work to have, if you have 2 negative COVID tests a week, you get a freedom pass. Then I would say you wouldn't have to self-isolate.
Yeah.
But I am not a medical professional. Please do not take my advice to heart. If you're told to self-isolate by the NHS, please do it.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. It's against the law to not self-isolate after having a test.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
just to be perfectly clear on my stance.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. I mean, the only places I will probably go are going to be the pub if I'm working there, and then back home. I don't really go out. I go to the supermarket, do my shopping and all that sort of stuff. But I like, as soon as I get in, my clothes are off. I straight in the wash. So that's all kind of, it's not going around the house.
If you're really uncomfortable back, to be honest, mate, if I were you, I would go.
Yeah.
If they're happy to have you, I would say go and enjoy your Christmas.
Yeah. They did say though, if you feel, and they said they're saying this to everybody, the slightest hint of a scratchy throat, which is normally the sign for me to say I'm getting sick.
Well, you've had coronavirus, haven't you?
No, I haven't had it.
Oh.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I did have a test and I was negative, but the only reason I did it.
I remember that.
Yeah. The only reason I did it.
You know why I'm looking at you like
I know,
this.
yeah. The only reason I did it was because there were people at my workplace who were starting to feel ill.
Right.
One of them did get it, but because we were all on 0 hours contracts, he hadn't been in for weeks. So
he needed the work.
Yeah, he needed the work, but he got a test and was from back negative. He got a positive test, but he'd basically been isolating for about 5 weeks because he didn't have work.
Oh, goodness.
I don't feel too sorry for him. He's on a Netflix show, so I don't feel too sorry for him.
He works on Netflix shows?
He's actually had a part on a Netflix show. I can't remember what one it is, though.
Oh, well, if you can't remember, it must not be that.
I think is it You?
Oh, that's a big one. Who did he play?
I have no idea.
He didn't play the brother, did he?
I have no idea. Is that British or is it American?
American.
Oh, it might not be that one then.
Is he a British?
Yeah.
Oh, Sex Education, something like that. Anyway.
It might be that. It might be that one.
We do now have to pay the bills, but I just want to let everyone know, as part of the NHS Test and Trace, the NHS has launched the NHS COVID-19 app to protect yourself and your loved ones. It's simple to use and the fastest way to see if you're at risk of COVID-19. The app shows you the risk level in your local area. It lets you know if you've been in contact with someone who has coronavirus, so you can take the necessary action and let your loved ones know. It has a handy QR code scanner to check into venues without having to fill in forms, and everyone we love in our phone. And now we can use it to protect them by downloading the NHS COVID-19 app. So please encourage your friends and family to download the app today from the App Store or Google Play Store. And please download the NHS COVID-19 app and encourage your friends and family to download it today from the App Store or Google Play Store. And with that, we'll be going to a short break. Do stay tuned as me and Tom will be right back after this.
As winter approaches, here's a critical reminder of coronavirus symptoms from Dr. Gupta.
The main symptoms of coronavirus are a high temperature or a new continuous cough or a sudden loss or change in your sense of smell or taste. If you have any of these, to protect yourself and others, it is critical you isolate at home, even if you don't feel too bad. And you must book a test immediately. Use the NHS COVID-19 app or go to gov.uk/coronavirus.
Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
People of Asian and Black ethnic origin are at an increased risk of COVID-19. Queen Mary University London has launched a research study called Covidence UK to find out why this is. If you are Black or Asian, we need your help to complete our studies. All you need to do is complete an online survey. Please help us to understand the coronavirus disease so we can develop tools to prevent it. Sign up at qmul.ac.uk/Covidence. Sign up and save lives.
This is an important update about coronavirus. To help save lives, new national restrictions are now in place until the 2nd of December. You must stay at home. Only leave home for food, medical reasons, exercise, education, or work. You must work from home if you can and avoid travel unless essential. Go to gov.uk/coronavirus for latest guidance and exemptions. Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
Businesses who deal with Europe, listen up. Time is running out. You've got new rules coming in on the 1st of January 2021. That's just round the corner. And getting ready can take longer than you think. These things always do. I know it's been a tough old year, but the countdown to the 1st of January has started. Don't get left behind. Start now at gov.uk/transition. Check, change, go.
Nikah, talaq, counselling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
The new NHS COVID-19 app immediately shows me the risk of coronavirus in my area, so I can warn Mel.
It lets me quickly check into venues with a QR scanner, so I can protect Alid.
It tells me fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can alert Emma.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, even Auntie Sue. The more of us who get the app, the better we can control coronavirus. Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
Amigos, the signature name when it comes to burgers and shakes. Our succulent burgers are prepared in front of you while you wait. Whether you go for our 6-ounce Mexican or our 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for our messy fries or our buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. Dine in with your friends and family at 400 Cranbrook Road, Gants Hill, or order in on Uber Eats, Just Eat or Deliveroo. Amigos. Hats off to great burgers.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Hello, hello. You're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott, and I'm here in the studio with
Thom Hutchinson.
And you're listening to Revive FM. Remember, this is a call-in show, and we'll be sadly leaving the studio very soon. But there'll be other shows after this, so do stay tuned.
Yes.
And it is 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. Well, I would say that this week has been certainly eventful. We've had some redundancies. We've had more vaccine news. Apparently, vaccine rollout will begin on the 7th of December.
I've got the figures for that.
Do you?
I do indeed, yes.
Excellent. Let's hear them.
Right. So give me 1 second. I will get them here because I'm really well prepared.
Of course.
So the
as always.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got the amounts, right, of what we've ordered so far.
Yeah.
Which is literally going to sound like a sort of an Amazon wish list. So we've got the Oxford AstraZeneca order.
Yeah.
That's it. Not
the
replying
UK is actually, do you know what? I just quickly want to chime in. Is the
Go for
UK
it.
is expected to be among the first country in the world to have over 50% of its population vaccinated.
Yes, we've got
It's really impressive.
and
for
it's
once.
147 million doses we've ordered.
Yes, and we've got another 150 million, which is enough to dose the country 5 times.
Exactly. So we're for once we're actually ahead of the curve on this. So we've got the Oxford Uni AstraZeneca one. That's got 100 million doses have been ordered. It's basically cost £3 a dose by the time you work it out. It's not too bad. So the effective level,
really good.
Yeah. Well, the effective levels or levels of effectiveness, I should say, is between 62 and 90%.
Now that's come under a lot of scrutiny,
Yes.
and I know why actually, because
Depends on the dosage.
Like a lot of things, we find out these great things by mistake. So, like putty was made a chemical mistake because scientists
Penicillin.
were trying to come up with some sort of nice material.
Yeah.
But
penicillin as well. with
Yeah,
Alexander
penicillin
Fleming.
by mistake.
Yep.
Really, really amazing mistake. But this one is they gave a small dose to start off with by mistake, and then a full dose, and that gave you them a 90% efficacy rate, and then it was 62% if they gave them 2 full doses. So that was it's really important that they work that out because it makes the vaccine far more effective.
But the good thing with this is you don't have to have a special fridge for it. This one can just be kept at a regular fridge temperature,
rather
which is
than the
fantastic.
Pfizer vaccine, which needs a minus 70 degrees.
Yes. So that's the next one we've got. That's 40 million doses. Now that one works out about 15 quid a pop on
Bit
that
more
one.
expensive.
But it's 95% effective.
Exactly.
Which is great.
And they're hoping to give that to the most vulnerable people in the country first.
Yeah. And then the next one we've got, and this is the one that they're actually really happy with, is the Is it Moderna? Is that you say? it?
Moderna.
Moderna. Sorry. Moderna.
Oh, Moderna. Okay, yeah.
There we go.
Sorry.
I'm still firing them out. Now, this one, we've got 7 million doses of this one, and this one works out at £28 a shot.
Whoa! See, that's
know.
American pharmaceutical
I
companies for you.
Well, hang on, wait a minute. Isn't Pfizer American?
No, Pfizer's European.
Oh, I also was American.
No, European. It's based in the Netherlands. Yes.
Oh, the Dutchies. Oh, the Dutch have done one. Oh, probably should not do it another way. Does it have to be injected? Yeah, shame. What's it sound like Nicky Lauda for? It sounds Austrian.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting these references, man.
Nicky Lauda, the guy in Formula One, we used to wear the red hat.
No.
You never watched Rush? Watch it.
Okay.
Brilliant film.
Okay, recommendation.
Classic
I'll
film.
take it on board.
I'm telling you, watch. We're talking about Netflix and stuff. Watch. That is your homework tonight. Watch Rush.
I'm not getting homework from come on,
Hey,
man.
respect your elders.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're going for a teaching assistant job.
Exactly. That's when they pay me properly. But that one, the Moderna one, is 94% effective, and that only needs to be kept at only -20.
I mean, most fridges can do that.
Yeah,
my freezer does that at home.
Exactly. So it's not
-23.
So it's not too difficult, is it? But I mean, it can work. So but it's nice to know.
I mean, the key importance here is infrastructure. So with the Pfizer vaccine,
They've got to have the fridges.
NHS does not have -70 degrees fridges on site.
Yeah.
They are usually specially transported for specific illnesses and diseases.
Yeah.
So that is why the AstraZeneca is sort of the best one.
Yeah.
Because it's the cheapest to manufacture. It's the cheapest to distribute, and we get it first because it's produced in the UK.
In the UK, yeah, exactly. I mean, with the Moderna one, they're saying that they're going to apply for, in America, they're applying for the special approval. So they think that it could be as early as December 11th that they get it out in the States.
Something shocking for you, though, and I was really surprised by this. In the EU, the regulator has delayed the rollout of Pfizer and other vaccines in the EU until after the new year.
I mean, why?
I don't know particularly. I need to look into the reasons why. But I saw this headline. I was thinking, because I've got stocks in Europe, so I sold them off really quickly. Good thing I did.
Nice.
So I got to take some amount of profit. Obviously, not as much as I would have hoped.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I just don't mind. And do you know what? I was like, I'm still shocked. But it looks like the UK will be having an economic recovery far faster than the rest of Europe.
That's good.
So
well, they're saying, was it 2022 we're going to start clearing off the debt from this year, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think
we've cleared the debt.
I was speaking about this in economics today, right? So debt is so high, but no one in the world believes that austerity is a good idea because we were technically still in austerity.
They've even ruled it out, haven't they?
Yeah, Boris Johnson like we're not doing
it.
austerity because it doesn't work.
They've
sort of learned that.
And for those who are listening and who don't know, what is austerity?
Austerity is cut to public spending. So back in 2008, public spending on lots of government departments, education, healthcare was very, very plentiful. And what the Conservative government did in 2010 is they convinced people to shore up our debt by bringing it to more acceptable public finances. That's something we're renowned for as soft power. It's why people trust in our finances. It's why people buy UK government bonds. Is we always pay off our debt and we don't let it exceed to incredible levels. Now, interesting, when the euro was introduced in 1999, the system it was devised under was to ensure that no one the system it was devised under is the euro must not come under lots of financial strain, i.e. a country must not have debt of more than 3% of its GDP. Italy's at the minute is 200%.
Whoa.
Which puts you towards danger zone for the euro. It's a very, very dangerous.
They're thinking of scrapping the euro in Italy, aren't they? I believe
they are, and it's because they're worried about the instability it has, and I would say it's a very valid point to have as well. And so I don't particularly know the reasons why. I can't explain them well enough in a simple enough detail because it's very complicated, and I can't even explain it at a simple level.
Yeah.
But that is sort of the assumption that came under. I want to wrap this up soon.
That's all right.
So. That is the issue with the euro. What was I talking about before the euro?
We were talking about austerity.
Yes. So austerity in the UK was cut to public spending in 2010 to try and bring UK's fiscal spending, i.e. the money that the government spends, under thing. And the height, it reached 100 billion in a year.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my God,
that was the Labour
so
government.
much money. That was the Labour government, which is, in my opinion, bailing out the banks. That's a controversial one.
Yeah.
We're not going to get involved. It's pointless. And so for 10 years, we had massive budget cuts. Departments lost out. Homelessness went up. Lots of bad stuff happened from from austerity, and it didn't actually recover the economy that well because it's a contraction of fiscal policy, i.e. unemployment goes up, and it's a good way to sort of let the free market sort out the economy on its own, without too much government intervention and spending. Now this time they've ruled that out. We're not going to do the budget cuts. What was austerity? Because they say austerity just isn't simply good. And what they're going to do is hopefully use Keynesian economics, which is i.e. spending our way out of the problem.
Okay.
And no one at the minute, so Rishi Sunak has said, we have to be fiscally responsible.
Says the man who's been called the borrower.
Yeah, the borrower. The borrower, yeah, exactly. On spitting image. Come on, borrower.
Rishi.
Yeah. And so he's been giving away lots and lots of money and everyone likes him. So, hey, Rishi, giving out some nice money, you know. Yeah. And so he said it's coming, you know, tax rises are inevitable.
Yeah.
And it's by 2022, 2021, late 2020, until we're economically recovered, there's no point. It's counterintuitive to say we want the economy to recover and use public spending, but then raise taxes at the same time.
Yeah.
That's just pointless. Why on earth would you do that? So to put this into contrast, the UK debt has exceeded 2 trillion for the first time. It's exceeded, it was most likely will exceed 100% of what the economy produces in a year.
Wow.
Now that's not that bad considering our debt was 80% before coronavirus, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering, you know, the economy's been stagnant and stuff. It's not been going brilliant.
Yeah.
But something I will say is that we can look forward to some tax rises in the in 2022, which I'm not looking forward to, because I'll be probably earning money by then. But yeah, that's something that we just,
if Rishi has his way.
Well, if Rishi has his way, I'll be giving it all away. But no, he's committed to financial responsibility. And I think that's really important. And it's good for us in the long term as well. So yeah, that's basically what economically, you don't have to worry about taxes going up until I'd say at least 2021, late 2022. Because for once, economists all over the world are in consensus that austerity bad. Don't cut public spending. Keep it high to spend our way out of it. So, you know, something which is going to take a big hit is capital gains tax. So they're going to target the rich and middle classes.
Oh, no.
So, for example, if you sell a house, you have shares, anything which is capital gains is suddenly is going to go down from the national insurance contribution to estimated £2,000. So anything over £2,000 is going to get taxed very high.
Oh, great. Oh, well, so I better sit on that. For those who don't know, I'm looking to become a little bit of a landlord, so I'm buying a second property.
Got to check it out, sir.
I know. Well, who knows? I mean, I'm going to be sitting on it for a couple of years. I'm not getting rid of it straight away. So at least 5 to 10 years. But yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be the old VW advert. It'll be, this is the man who went into property when all the smart money moved out. Hi there, that's me. Do you want to buy a house?
Right. Well, I was going to play a song, but we sadly run out of time.
Oh,
but it doesn't matter. We've had a good chat about economics.
And it's been nice being back in the studio together as well.
Yeah,
we've not done that for a month.
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
I know. In fairness, it did go quite quick.
Yeah,
I will admit.
Sometimes I'm like, yeah. Then I've sort of picked myself up and slapped myself.
Which is the lockdown. Which is the sort of the metaphor of the lockdown as a whole for the last 4 weeks.
And I would say everyone's got to remember to stay vigilant, because I know Matt Hancock gets up in front of the cameras and everyone stopped tuning, and I've stopped tuning in.
It's all right. He goes behind that potted plant afterwards, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I'll just go behind that plant.
Yeah. I mean, I think for a lot of people, they just stop listening because it's not fun to listen. But I do have to encourage people that you please download the NHS COVID-19 app and encourage your friends and family to do so as well. And download it from the Google App Store or Google Play Store or Google Apps or Apple App Store.
App Store.
It's really important that you do that. And also, please follow restrictions, because if you don't, we shall definitely have a lockdown in the January. And other than that, you've been listening to Revive FM. I've been Henry Scott. He's been
Thom Hutchinson.
And please do stay tuned, as there'll be other shows after this.
Nitro Treats, the dessert lab where your treats are full.